Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we have some very encouraging news for Tesla stock. Take a look at this Tesla delivery center in China that is filled, like completely packed with people. We seen this last quarter and we had better than expected delivery numbers. If we start to see more of this, well, that's going to be a great sign. Because again, this is only one delivery center. Imagine what the other ones looked like as well yesterday. Worth mentioning that yesterday was Valentine's Day in China, so what a good present. Let's be honest, a Tesla would be a great present for Valentine's Day. And you can see here that Google Trends data is showing another rise yet again for the Model Y, going from 26 now to 29. The Model 3 going from 24 to 26. The Cybertruck's falling from 80 to 71, so a little bit of a fall there. The Model S staying at 10, and the Model X is jumping from 8 to 10. But this only shows us Google Trends, not Chinese data or other countries that do not use Google. So I can imagine that things look pretty good over in China for Tesla. They do look pretty good in domestic markets according to Google Trends. Apparently, there's been a lot of rumors recently that Tesla just killed the $61,000 single motor Cybertruck. FUD News says there's going to be mass cancellations when people hear about this, and Sawyer Merritt responds and says, no, there was never a single motor rear wheel drive foundation series. For now, the configure only shows foundation series. This does not mean the rear wheel drive is canceled, and Wes agrees with this. He is the Cybertruck lead engineer. Olmar's catalog says lots of Hardware 3 customers are wondering if the latest FSD 12.5.1.3 will be available for Hardware 3 soon. As you mentioned, the team was targeting. Elon Musk confirms the team is working on it. This will be a different release number. Option activity in Tesla stock on Friday was quite positive from big money. You had 22 different trades totaling $3.48 million with a positive order value of 88%. Over the past week, you have had 109 different orders totaling $104.69 million with a positive order value of 23%. Taking a look at this Friday's expiration, you have open interest on the call side of 62.01%. and open interest on the put side of 37.99%. That means you have a put to call ratio of 0.61. There's almost 2 times as many calls for this expiration than puts. That's a pretty good sign. Tesla's short interest of free float sits at 3.75%. You have $20.74 billion currently sold short in Tesla stock, totaling 104.29 million shares. If we take a look at Friday, you had return shares of 1.16 million, borrowed shares of 382,000. That means on net, you had about 775,000 shares that actually got covered on. Sentiment for Tesla as of now is neutral at 49. On Friday, you were bullish at 57, which that's what you expect to see over the weekends. Sentiment goes down, message volume goes down. As you can see here, message volume is now at 46, which is normal. On Friday, it was normal at 48, and the participation ratio today is normal at 54. Tesla continues to run about 4,000 different ads with Google, and Tesla's global inventory numbers continue to be on an upwards trajectory, with the Model Y now seeing over 7,000 vehicles in global inventories, the Model 3 at 6,100, the Model X sitting down here at about 3,700, and the Model S at 2,800. Google Trends data for full self-driving is starting to reflect upwards, now at 24, which is the highest you have been at since at least mid-June, so almost 2 months now, and that's a great sign for take rates. 10-year treasury yields have recently fallen a lot, down to 3.94%. You are down almost 6 basis points on Friday. Now, I think this is just reflective of the market's pricing in multiple Fed rate cuts coming soon. And that's not necessarily a good thing if the Fed is forced to cut because of weakness because of recession risks. And I think that's why stocks have been selling off, as 10-year treasury yields have also been selling off. That's why this week's economic data will be so important, because it will confirm, or at least point us in the right direction of, is the economy weakening? Is recession on the horizon? Or is the economy holding up? And is the Fed going to cut into a non-recessionary economy? CNN's Fear and Greed Index still sits at 24, which is in extreme fear. Market momentum is fear. Stock price strength is neutral. Stock price breadth is fear. Put and call options, extreme fear. Market volatility is neutral. Safe haven demand, extreme fear. And junk bond demand, also in extreme fear. The percent of stocks trading above their 50-day moving average is at 44.66%. You are only down about 0.25% on Friday. So Friday was really not too much of an impactful day for markets across the board. It wasn't a great day, wasn't a terrible day. It was just kind of a so-so day. And I think that's why that happened, is because people are waiting to see what the data looks like for this upcoming week. This upcoming week, I expect we're going to get a much larger move in markets, whether that's to the upside or to the downside. And I have to say, looking at the S&P 500, I think markets want to go higher, at least in the near term. If the data is not outright terrible, then I think markets will go higher in the near term. In the next video coming out at 8 p.m., I'll give you a breakdown of all of our major events for this week. But long story short, I think a retest of the 50-day moving average is in play this week. Yes, that would be upside of about 1.88%. Call it about 2% from here to get to that 50-day moving average. I mean, take a look at how we reacted around this 100-day moving average. You found resistance here, 2 days, closed below it. You closed above it on Thursday, and then you continued to go higher on Friday. That was a great sign. I do think, as far as economic data is concerned, I think there is fear out there that things are slowing. So even some bad data could be interpreted as it's not that bad. We've seen Wall Street do this in the past, where if everyone, is expecting a certain outcome, well, people try to hold on to that outcome, whether it's the soft landing or whether it's, recession for that matter in 2022. And if the data comes in bad, but not that bad, Wall Street could like that. Kind of the same what we've seen with inflation over the past as well. Some people would say, yeah, that's bad, but it's not that bad. It could have been worse. And that's something that I'm expecting for this week. As long as the data does not come out really bad, then Wall Street may actually buy the news on that. And I think the areas in which could actually get that buy the news reaction are the areas that benefit from the Fed cutting rates. They are small caps. They are Tesla. Okay, I think you want to stay in profitable companies. I think profitable companies will outperform, and I think there will be just a bias towards profitability and quality, really for coming years. I think 2022 really burned a lot of people, and I think people want to stick with what's profitable. And I do think after the sharp sell-offs we have seen, specifically in the Russell, I mean, you've never seen I don't think you've ever seen 3 down days of 3% or more in a row. And we got that for the Russell. Don't quote me on that, but I know it's for sure it's been a very long time since that has happened. I don't believe it's ever happened, but could be wrong. So you've seen extreme selling in a very short amount of time. And I think the markets will want to bounce here to that 50-day moving average. Are we going back to new all-time highs? Absolutely not. Not anytime soon, in my personal opinion, at least not until the election, until we get, more clarity on what to expect in the economy. So that's my take kind of for this week, where I'm expecting markets could go. For Tesla specifically, I think that could be also that 50-day moving average, pretty easily up to about $210 per share. It's $210.55 per share. I think there can definitely be an upwards move higher here for Tesla stock, and it wouldn't surprise me if you could actually retest that 215 level, one of these downtrending lines of resistance here. These are multi-year downtrending lines of resistance. So I think 215-ish could be a level of resistance to be watching for. Now, if we take a look at the downside, that 100-day moving average has shown a lot of demand coming in. I mean, besides this day on August 5th, we've stayed above that 1, 2, 3, 4 days where you did come down and get some selling pressure and almost retest this level. It seemed like there was a lot of demand coming in here around the low 190s, and people want to scoop up Tesla if they can get it for those prices. Now, if you take a look at the RSI bottomed at about 35 or so, 36 or so. Now it's back up to almost 42. So definitely seeing things improving for the RSI. Just to get back to neutral of 50, you could definitely see a $10-ish move higher in Tesla stock. The MACD also looks just very bad. Wouldn't surprise me if that thing could start to bottom out or level out here, and I actually see a nice little tick upwards as well. The MACD is negative 6.1 and the signal line is negative almost 1. So from that perspective, I do think this week could be a good week. That's just my personal opinion. Doesn't mean this selling is over with. No. Doesn't mean the economy is just doing fantastic. No. But I do think there is quite a bit of fear out there, and the data, well, markets are going to want to look at it in a positive way. They're going to want to say it could have been worse, unless it's just outright terrible or bad, and there's no denying that it's just bad. Then I would expect to see a larger down move. But data that comes in line with expectations, it's going to be seen as good news, and that could be the most likely outcome for this week. But we'll go over all of the data and all of the earnings that you need to know for this upcoming week in the next video. So stay tuned to the channel. That comes out at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. In the meantime, hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. If you guys want to come trade with us, check out that link down below in the description of this video. You guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.